Hello and welcome to an album a day, day number 156. Well, I look a little crooked, don't I? I don't know if that's any better or not. It looks better to me. Anyway, we're going into the well for the only album that I have from this band, and it's the only album that they released. After Deep Purple was done mixing the album House of Blue Light, Roger and Ian Gillan were a little frustrated. They decided to go off and make an album on their own before the tour started, and they did just that with the 1988 edition of Accidentally on Purpose. It didn't dawn on me what this album cover actually was, and I still don't understand it, but they're basically like Lego people with hats that are either crying and rubbing their eyes with their knuckles, or they're trying to block out the sun. I have no idea what's going on here, but it looks cool. I love the color scheme. I just don't understand the concept of it, but that's okay. Most art concepts are fairly lost on me. It's either something I like to look at or I don't. And this is pleasant, I don't mind it, I just don't understand it. But anyway, this was released in 1988. This is a 1988 US copy, and this is on, what is the record company here? It is EMI. There you go, but a different EMI label that I'm used to. This is actually quite interesting. Never seen one of their stickers look quite like that. The vinyl is in excellent condition. The cover is in excellent condition, and shrink wrapped in its original shrink rack, except for the very edge. We have a little bit of wear. We do have a little bit of wear on the top. There's the back of the album cover, a very interesting image of Roger and Ian there. They did do a video for, I think it was She Took My Breath Away, and there might have been another one. Clouds and Rain was featured in the movie, what was the one with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman? That one, whatever that was. But yeah, it's in great shape, and really no wear around it except for the open edge here. So really cool. I think it was just a generic sleeve. Nope, wrong again. See, I don't go inside these covers a whole lot. So here we have some nice shots of the guys and lyrics, which is really nice. Very well done. Obviously some creasing in the paper here, down here. I've gotten albums that were brand new that have those creases, and considering the condition of this, I doubt this happened after the fact, because most of the time, we read through these a couple of times and just slip them back in the cover. But considering like the angle of the creases, I've seen that happen on albums so many times, which is interesting because the covers themselves are not creased in the corners like that, but for some reason the insert is. Don't know why that is, but it is. So we just live with it. So let's talk about the songs. Clouds and Rain, I mentioned. Still can't think of the Dustin Hoffman movie. I can picture the cover of it, but I just can't think of what it's called. Anyway, opening with Clouds and Rain. I don't know all the songs by title. I know them when I hear them. So I'm not going to get too deep into most of these. Evil Eye is the second track. She Took My Breath Away, I think that was the first song I heard. Had that on a single, I believe, with a track that is not on the album that we'll get to in a minute. Then we have Dislocated, which is a really cool groove. It's interesting because it sounds a lot like programmed bass, which is amazing when you have one of the greatest bass players on the album. But there is something to be said for the sound of it. This is a very 80s sounding album in 1988. Then we get VM Miami to close out side A. Side B, I Can't Dance to That. Then we have Can't Believe You Want to Leave. It's got a good flow to that title. Then we have Lonely Avenue, Telephone Box, which is just a fun song. And then I Thought No was the last track. Now there is another song that I believe I got on the B side of She Took My Breath Away, which is called Cayman Island. Really fun song. A little synth brassy sounding, and I'm not a big fan of synth brass, but it actually works pretty well on that one. It's good stuff, and so check out that song, but check out the album. It's all very fun and worth listening to. It's not political. It's not trying to make a point on society. It's just fun stuff, and that was one of the things I really loved about a lot of the music in the 80s was we didn't have to use art to push political agenda. It was just making fun art. And that is exactly what this is. This was two guys getting away from the pressures that they were in, unhappy circumstances. Let's just go do something and have fun. And we, as the listeners, get the benefit of that fun. So check it out, Gillan Glover, Accidentally on Purpose. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.